If you guys remember last week when we were in headquarters, we used an overwrap grip on the knees. Okay, we're gonna do that here again, but this time on both knees, okay? Now, my intention is still gonna be to drive them flat here, okay? So be very careful when you do this, because you are compensating forwards a lot, okay? One example would be your head. Guys, whenever you're driving in with your head in jiu-jitsu, okay, I don't care how many years you wrestled, do not put your head down. Yep. That's how we run into big problems here, okay? So watch, as I push into them, I'm gonna generally try to keep my eyesight forwards, okay? So I'm gonna knee walk here, and you guys see here, this is a really good position to put people in when they're playing guard, okay? Once I can take them into this no man's land of like not sitting up and not laying back, now I can start to change the angle of the match, okay? We'll talk about that more so when we put the gi on tomorrow and Thursday, okay? No gi, that's gonna be kind of hard to maintain, okay? But keep that in your head for right now. All right, so right here, this is interesting because you guys have options, okay? What I'm about to show you, you can either do it on your knees or you can do it from a really low squat. I'll put it simply, if you're bigger or your mobility is not the best, you're probably gonna wanna stay on your knees for this, okay? Otherwise, another option we have here is to go into a low squat, okay? This is how I prefer to do it. All right, so from here, from this overwrap grip, once I drive them flat, I'm gonna continue to bring my butt off of my heels. Step one, step two, okay? So feet are on the ground and basically trying to touch my butt to the floor. Do not drive off the balls of your feet yet. That's when you can get elevated. Again, not the end of the world. There's good options there like float passing, but if you're not used to that, you're gonna want to avoid that, all right? So my weight's more into my heels, not the balls of my feet, okay? He's gonna try to push you back a little bit here, okay? That's when you can tilt your chest more. Okay? That's kind of how you like get a feel for playing this position. So. All right, now once we establish this, we're gonna play this game where we start trying to pass the knees. He's not gonna let you do that generally. When he starts to feel you push the knees in, yeah, he's gonna expand his knees, all right? So as you do that, you need to move your chest too, okay? So for now, my recommendation is gonna be to pick one knee that you primarily wanna push in. I like to go to my left, okay? So as we're looking to pass, as I push this in on my left side, I'm gonna bring my chest to the outside, okay? So left hand, I'm pushing it to my right, my chest is going to the left. And now I'm looking to bring the knees together, okay? Now as I do this, it's gonna be very similar to last week. Now watch. We're just gonna start to walk. I'm gonna sprawl my back leg and step this leg out, okay? In terms of what you're doing with your hands here, as you do this, again, we wanna be really low on the hips, okay? If I could reach around and like get an actual waist grip, like a body lock, I would, okay? But for now, the elbow being low is good. Reason why, if I go for a deep underhook, can you hip escape? Yeah, more mobility there. Not always that dramatic, but to some degree. How about now? See, my elbow's blocking that, okay? Second thing I want to do, and this is important, we're going to talk about why this is important next. I need to control this tricep. Why? Again, I don't want him pushing on my legs. Also, more importantly, I don't want him coming up to his elbow. Okay? So you can go back down. We'll talk about how to beat that in a second. We're gonna go here and roll this in. Get his wrist up to your armpit. Don't grab it and stay loose here. When you start to go for passes, yeah, you can pummel. You can, even if you're holding here, you can push your leg, underhook it. You want this all the way up here. You want to dominate this arm. Now guys, don't forget, my target, the heart and soul of a side smash, is to keep the knees together. So I want to keep my hip at some point in the middle of his quad here, okay? The more he tries to open this knee, the more I'm going to slide this hip down, okay? Overwrap grips on the knees. I'm going to start to walk in, drive them flat, okay? Again, if you're bigger and you want to stay on the knees, it's fine. Everything I just showed you is going to work here, okay? Otherwise, if you prefer, come to this low squat, okay? So I'm using my left hand to try to pass his knee. As I pass his knee, I'm gonna bring my chest the opposite way, okay? My hand and my chest are working together. Here. Once I'm there, I got a side smash, okay? Now from here, I walk this, sprawl my back hip, okay? Try your absolute best when you do a side smash to keep both of their feet between your legs, okay? Keep the knees pinned, low on the hip, controlling the tricep, rolling this in, and we're gonna stop right here. Be in the seated position and like a flat position, which is this no man's land, like right here. All right, this is a really good place to start a guard pass on somebody, okay? Like, he'll tell you this is not a place that he wants to play guard, okay? So, we're gonna kind of cycle between these three positions here. We're gonna start with a high collar grip, okay? We're gonna start on the outside of the knee. We're gonna just start with a really basic premise here, okay? I'm gonna drive him flat, walk my knees in. Now when I'm ready to pass, I'm actually gonna pull him into that third position. And now here's where I'm gonna set up the side smash, okay? So I'm gonna use the pant grip to start to bring the knee in, bring the chest to the outside, and now I can start to fold the knees. Okay. Okay. Guys, remember a huge thing we're trying to accomplish here, at least in the beginning, try to keep both of his legs between your legs, okay? That gives you the ability to actually pinch his knees together, all right? Now, once we've done that, again, if he's my size or a lot shorter than me, a lot of times, it's gonna be harder to do what we call leg pummeling here, okay? My goal right now is to try to get my back leg over both of his legs, okay? So in that event, you're going to utilize your posture here to start to change the height of your legs. So really, I want to drive my head past his head, like in front of his face here. So it's much easier for me to keep my knee on the ground and pummel this back leg over, okay? This will keep me on the outside of his legs. From here, okay, we have a few different options. Last week, we looked at windshield wiping, okay? Bringing my knee to my foot, moving both legs together. That's a good method to get to the side, okay? Another method, if you're a little more on the flexible side, you can make a second hook here, take this foot off and then move to the side. A really good one that should be pretty simple for everybody to do is a knee cut method. Bringing your heel to your butt and just sliding this knee behind. And then moving the side control. Okay? Guys, let me just show you really quick why I wouldn't do this. Okay? If he's not really giving me any resistance right now and I feel that he's just like kind of loose and not really doing anything, yeah, this is gonna work. And I can definitely walk around to the side. Okay? You'll see as the class goes on why that's kind of a risky idea. All Ramiro simply has to do is attach his top leg to my leg. And look, this is no longer a good idea, okay? Not only am I not gonna pass his guard, I'm really off balance. You can actually squeeze me here. Now, we're driving forward so we can get the back foot over, okay? Knee to foot, pummel. Bring the front foot in, then pummel. Or your last option here, you can take this knee, put it behind, and then come through, okay? Let's talk about what he's gonna try to do from here. All right. Not only that, let's talk about this hand, okay? This arm isn't gonna be too dynamic, but when we start to get somebody who gives us a good fight here, this hand's gonna need to be able to do different things, all right? So, as I said, one of the bigger problems here is when he gets up on his elbow. Now, it's usually accompanied by a bigger problem, which is him framing with this arm. All right. If he goes to a regular side control frame, that's not as bad. You guys can usually just push through this, okay? But if you guys remembered when we did seated guard retention, we used this like sideways gooseneck frame, all right? Now, if I do something here, like just reach for his tricep, which is very weak, my arm's really stretched, and I try to drive him flat here, don't let me do it. Okay? Not only this, look, I'm taking weight off, he's gonna pull his legs out, and he's gonna recover a guard, okay? What happens, don't bother here if he's really far away. Okay, if you lose your leverage, go to the bottom knee. Okay, so now, if he tries to escape his legs, at least I have something blocking his legs, okay? Instead of driving forwards into this strong frame, there's a big post right here, there's nothing here. So that's the way we want to take him. So instead of driving forwards, we're actually going to circle, okay? So here, I block the knee. Your head's going to play a big part in this, okay? You're going to keep your head up, you're going to put your head on the shoulder, and you're going to walk in a circle. Okay? Once you collapse them, it's time to switch back to the tricep. As I start to enter in, yeah, he gets a frame and he heists them, okay? So, right away, don't let him start to recover his guard. Let's block this bottom knee so he's not shrimping out, okay? Guys, as I walk, I still want to try to maintain his feet between my legs. So I'm taking deliberate steps here. 1, 2, pushing with my head, okay? I let go of the knee, I grab his tricep, and then from here, we can establish the same position and start to look to pass. It's going to be primarily his top leg that's giving me issues here. Okay, that's the more mobile leg on his part. Sometimes people will try to take that top leg and butterfly hook your far leg. The far leg. Okay, this one isn't bad, okay, because he's exposing his leg. At this point, what you guys should do is business as usual. Okay, you should still be able to pummel that leg. It's going to be a bigger issue if he does the opposite and actually hamstring curls on my close leg and keeps it nice and high. Okay. All right. So what does that do to me? Now, not even close, right? Okay. So, for lack of a better term, our old instructor Evan used to call this a skip knee leg drag. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay. We're again going to switch to the knee so we can change our position here. All we're going to do is continue to push with our top hip, my left hip in this case, okay? So watch. The goal of that hip is to push this leg out. Okay, now I'm exposing this leg again. So keep hamstring curling. See, it's still right there. The more he does that, the more I'm gonna push it out, okay? Now watch. Now I can start to come back over, all right? Now again, this is gonna be a different pass here, okay? If I go to windshield wipe, I'm between his legs here, okay? Different things can happen. All right, so we're gonna go into like a tripod pass here. So from here, my leg pummel this time is gonna be this foot, my instep going behind his Achilles, and I'm gonna kick this leg out. Okay, try to curl it. It's very difficult. Now I wanna splay his legs. So now my left knee, watch, it's gonna push his other knee open. Try to bring your legs together. It's very tough, okay? Now watch. Pushing off the toes, and then I just walk behind him this time. To expose that leg, I'm going to start to continue to shovel my hips in. So again, I can pummel my shin over, okay? To keep this position, I bring the free instep through and behind this ankle to keep his legs square, okay? To increase this pressure even more, I'm going to use my left knee as well. So I'm going to take my left knee, I'm driving that into his other leg, right into his quad. So now his legs are nice and square. Okay? Now from here to pass, I'm just going to tripod and walk to the other side. Thanks. Okay, so when I start to slide over, okay, I'm exposing this leg, curl it tight. Okay, not only can I not find it, now I'm really off balance this way. So you guys should not be putting this foot over first. Okay? Try to off balance me now. The back foot, guys, not the front foot. Once you staple, then you can bring the front foot in and then open. The situation is actually a good time in tandem to pass to the front. And usually when we pass to the front for side smash, we're thinking to go to the mount. Okay? So to really dictate where that line is, if you guys are like continually sliding out here and like they're just doing an amazing job of curling that leg, maybe they have really short legs, okay, it can be pretty hard to get that last one, okay? So that really tells you when the mount is a better option, okay? So this is gonna borrow one of the principles from the beginning of class. When should I switch from controlling here to controlling his legs? Okay, this is one of those times. When I go to mount, I wanna get this knee in front of his top knee, okay? I'm gonna have a hard time doing that if I hold on to the tricep and Ramiro moves that leg around. Right. They're always just gonna keep their knee a little bit in front of your knee to try to stop you. So that's why you wanna let go of this first and block this so it's not driving up, okay? Now I should have a reasonable path to start to bring this knee over and now get more perpendicular to it, okay? At this point, my knees are placed in my hand. I can go back to the tricep, okay? Now, very important here. I wanna use my left leg as a scoop on his leg. That's going to be very difficult while I'm on my knees like this, okay? So, watch. Really important detail here. This inside hip, that's my right hip. I'm going to dip it to the ground. So it makes it easier for me to make my left leg mobile. You guys see? I get right above his knee so I can lift. Okay, I can go as deep as a triangle. If triangling is difficult for you, you can also cross your feet, okay? Guys, look at why it's important to go above the knee. If I go below the knee and Ramiro keeps his legs really heavy to the ground, look, I'll never pull his legs up, okay? So I'm really gonna make the effort to find his hamstring here. Now if he keeps his legs heavy, watch. It's really easy. Okay, it's more leverage when I'm above the knees. Now, don't get excited here and jump up to mount, okay? He still has a little bit of wiggle room with his upper body here, okay, in terms of framing and pushing. Like things like basic mount escapes and tipping escapes are a danger here. So watch. Before I curl up, I want to make an effort here to get underhooks. Okay? Here, you can almost guarantee that they're going to try to fight out of this grip, and when they do, they're going to leave a little bit of space, and it should be an easy thing to get your second underhook. What this means is if I get my underhooks, it's going to be really hard for him to push on my hips and my knees. Okay, now it's a safe thing to uncross and start to walk up to mount. Okay. So when we decide to pass to the front, again, I'm going to switch from the elbow to the top knee. Okay, I'm going to start to bring this knee over. At this point, your head should be going perpendicular as well. Okay, now I can reapply the tricep. Guys, you'll see here, if you try to scoop the leg like this, it's really hard. So make sure you're rotating your hip. Then it's going to be a much easier thing to bundle this up. Okay? Lift, cross, underhook, underhook. And then once I have double underhooks, I'm looking to secure them out. Okay. Precise moment where you should look to get underhooks. Okay? And why? So when I get here, and I get here, okay, and I scoop the legs up, this looks like a mount, but not quite. Like even if I let Nick have this arm back, like try to do a mount escape at this angle, it's very difficult. This is the best time to get your second underhook. Okay? So from here, okay, now watch, I have double underhooks right here. I'm not even in mount yet. Nick, as I try to go to mount, try to escape. Okay, you ready? Yep. Without the strong use of his arms there, that chance just drops dramatically for him. Okay? Underhooks do this to his arms. He needs his arms down here to do a mount escape. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's the precise moment where you should get the second underhook. Okay? Okay, sometimes you're going to get here, and instead of curling this leg over your leg, they're going to cross their feet. Okay. As long as you're not doing like an entry from standing, this isn't the end of the world. Like if you like really lift your hips up here and you let them drop you back, like yeah, now you're in saddle. This isn't good. Okay. But if you're keeping good pressure here, and this is more of an annoyance, okay, it's really not the end of the world. We have a couple options. Okay. The easy one is like if he commits his leg to your leg, he's giving you mount here. So literally what we just did. Just bring my knee through. It doesn't really stop that. Okay? In other situations, if we're like, if he's crossing here and we're looking to get something like side control, okay, you used to hear people call this picking the lock. You can literally just put your foot through and start to extend. And now you're like literally back in the same spot.